recording. All right. So this thing is called Monet's Eden. 48 by 72 inches wide. And what I have over here is something I need to clarify. It's the what's it called? The allegory. Who's it? Socrates? Yes, Socrates. Allegory of the cave. That's what this little thing is about. And it's a cool philosophical idea about reality and perceiving the nature of reality. So the idea is there's a bunch of people who are basically chained down here. And over here is a fire. And just behind them is a wall. And on top of it are these shapes. And the fire is casting a shadow on the shapes. So these people think reality is the shadows, okay? Until one of them escapes through a little crack in the cave and comes out and realizes that's not the nature of reality. Reality is out here in the world. And then there's like, it can go a little deeper. But no, that's essentially what this is. So here's the fire, here's the wall. I have to define the shapes. I think there's like, I gotta go back and read about it. I can't remember if it's like animal antlers and stuff. I don't recall, or if it's symbols. And then this is there's the little secret hole that the guy escapes from and comes out here. And then the rest is it's kind of like, very Monet inspired painting. And there's this little bench, because Cheryl is someone who watches me paint and we chat a bit. And so I did another painting that was about, which spontaneously became Cheryl's bench. So this looks a bit like Cheryl's bench. But it's still all very, very rough. Looking at this, it's like, I don't like the way this is just so simple here. I'm going to do it. In fact, there's a lot of similarities with that other painting. That's right there. The other painting I just put aside for the moment back there. Yeah, that's right, Cheryl's bench. So I think I'm going to go in and let me go over here. I'm going to add some more of those lines. And I'm going to do like a lot of what I did with Cheryl's bench is more strong definition of the lines. I'm going to do reflections of things coming down. The sky is still kind of rough, and I think I'm going to come in with more finesse brush strokes. And so I'm going to do kind of what I did with Cheryl's bench, which is just more definition. Right now it's just like, these were just like very quick painting drawings. So I'm not really prepared. I just have this huge pile of paint over here, and when I look at it, I kind of go, ugh. See all that stuff down there? So basically, I do have my selection of brushes ready to go. One big one, and then all these guys. Except for you, I kind of recall you being busted. Is this the one? One of them is the metal part is coming loose. No, he's just bent. Man, what these guys have been through. You see, like I've got a lot of brushes. Like this is just a small portion of them, and I've got another couple handfuls over there. They've done hundreds of paintings, maybe even. Say, like these specific ones probably have done about 400 paintings. Okay. All right. I kind of think I'm going to start pretty thin, so I think I might do these two. Wait, where's the camera? Yeah, so one that's going to be kind of thin, but what I like about it is that when you flick it, it comes right back. You can feel it's like the bristles are nice and firm. And then this one is a square one. See, it's sort of fatter on this side, and it kind of tapers a bit. It's also very firm, so that's what I'm looking for. Now I gotta go and pick up some paint. All right. Let's just I'll try to remember the camera, because I always forget where the camera is. So I'm gonna go over here. Can you see it if I stand? Maybe I should do a bit more. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna work on this section here. Well, who knows what I'm gonna do? I really honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. Just gonna look. What is this? Let's take this purple. This is a very dark purple. I'm only gonna put the red here just because it's my hand. What I'm looking for is a nice blue. But here's a nice violet. Ooh, this is a rich kind of purpley thing. It's like a, can't read it. Magenta? Yeah, maybe magenta. You see this color here? Where's the camera? And then that's gonna go right there. It's very similar to this one. But what I want is a blue. Blue. This is not, oh yeah, here's a blue I want. This one. Can't read it. That's a beautiful blue. I just know this one. No idea what it's called. Ooh, another one. Yes, now I'm happy. Getting all the colors I like. Look at these rich. Oh, that's a nice blue. That's probably my favorite one. Look at this one. It's gonna be great. And what I'd like to do is use up all these. Oh, this white's gone. Yeah, garbage. I have a bunch of little bits of white left. So let's go here. Gotta remember, I need green. Yes. Okay. While I'm here, all right, we'll use a little bit of sky blue. This is kind of a nice blue. Shitballs. Come here, you. Very wet. I need some. I still have these crazy allergies for sinus infection. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm going to be sneezing a lot. I'm going to be blowing my nose a lot. Yesterday I went through 2 rolls of Kleenex from blowing my schnauzer. Okay, now that I have the yellow, I mean green, I need yellow. So I've got a couple of, remember there was one yellow last time I was painting that was really bugging me because it was too hard. I think it's this one here. Okay, so this kind of makes me happy. Look at that. It's kind of like dim sum. I love dim sum. Dim sum, Chinese food. I used to go there with my friends since we were 15 years old. We used to bike down to Chinatown, and there's like, what, 4 or 5 of us. We knew all the names in Chinese. And eventually a lot of the cart ladies, because they're always like these ladies pushing the carts, would know us. And we had such a good time talking to them and just joking around. More often than not, they didn't speak English. So we always kind of tripped them out if it was someone new, and we started going, Chanfeng. What else did we like? Shimai Chanfeng, Shinjuku. Shinjuku is awesome. We had our own names for them. Shinjuku is like the 3 little rolls of tofu wrapped around bamboo shoots and stuff, and we used to call it little babies chopped up fingers, little chopped up babies' fingers. And every time we would bring someone new to dim sum, we'd always freak them out because they didn't know what the hell they're eating. We'd tell them it was the most gross shit. So like congee soup would come around, and I remember my thing is I'd always tell them it was goat's head soup. So there'd be a goat head in it with floating goat eyeballs. And most people believed me because I was truthful about everything else except for the congee soup, which we never got because I just could never get into it. Just this. But all the other stuff I loved. Yeah. Actually, guys, you know what? I kind of cheated. I did some painting without filming it. I just couldn't be bothered to set up the cameras. It was too annoying. So I was actually doing some painting. Okay. What should I do here? What to do? Okay, maybe green. Let's just see what kind of green this is. Oh, this is not a helping. This green is just the paint is just okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to have some similarities with Cheryl's bench. Like this is the Cheryl's bench area. So this is kind of like behind that weird waterfall thing I did. I don't know, I'm hesitating. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Okay, how about this? Let's define the shoreline better. And then after I do the shoreline, like with this blue, and what color is this? So I'm just gonna, I don't even know what color this is. It's so dark. If I add some white to it, I'll know. Oh, that's blue? What the hell? Oh, it's like a rich purple. Okay, yeah, needed a little bit of white to show up. Okay, so bottom line is, I'm just gonna come across here with the shoreline, just mixing different colors in here. So I'll take some green. Okay, so the shoreline comes down here. Come on, come on. Try this blue. Need some water. I really actually wanted to paint the scene better, like define it, but I realized I really don't know what the symbols were. I gotta read up on it. So I'll probably have to come back another time and do it, just because I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Come down here. Okay. This is, let's say the water line is like here, kind of hides behind this grass thing. Okay, so if that's going to be the water line, let's break it up like I did before. In fact, I'm not even finished Cheryl's bench because the breaking up over here was, oh yeah, Cheryl's bench, I got to work on the left-hand side and also on the right-hand side. Holy crap, am I talking a lot to myself. I've had a bit of luck with this stupid titness thing. The luck is, I don't know if I'm getting accustomed to it, but I haven't had like, it hasn't been torturous in the past 2-3 days. It's still very loud. Like right now, it's still very fucking loud. Excuse my French there, but for some reason. I was like, oh, but I did notice, where was it? Oh yeah, I was watching, I couldn't sleep till 5 a.m. last night. I couldn't sleep because I had these sharp pains in my knee. I have had 4 sports injuries in my knee, and I thought I got it fixed because I had this blood platelet injection thing happening, but just last night, it was like, every like 2 minutes, I get like a knife stab right in my knee, and I'll be like, oh! So it's up till 5 a.m. But anyhow, so to occupy myself, I was watching like Netflix. And it was so noticeable, like my hearing loss, because my hearing loss only started about 2 or 3 years ago. But I was like, you know, I on my laptop, and I could hear everything perfectly clear in this here, and this here was muted. And if, I honestly thought my for a moment I forgot about fucking hearing loss, and I thought oh shit, my speaker's gone on the right side. So I was watching the video, going, damn, it really sucks, because you know, stereo is so nice. And then it dawned on me, it's because the hearing is really bad now. It's only about, I have to get it officially checked out again, but it feels like it's about 30%. Because when I went like this to the other, the speakers were working perfectly good. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to go deaf. I don't want to go deaf. As long as I can hear one out of one ear, I'm good. And the odds of me losing on that ear are very low because the tumor is on my right ear. Auditory nerve. So that's kind of a relief. Because going deaf would really kind of be sad. I love music. What am I gonna do here? All right, so yeah, I need to make more. I don't know. These are kind of ugly marks. Okay, I know what I need to do. I need to do the reflection part. So let's just start doing that. I'll start building it up. So if I put some up there, I'm gonna bring these lines down here. Let's just say if I do that, I'm gonna go down here. And when I'm doing it too, I sometimes bring it across, just sort of mix it up. Can you see that? I just thought, like, no one told me how to do this. It just sort of makes sense. If you're going to do a reflection, you might as well just bring it low and then mess up the bottom one a little bit, because the water, you know how water has ripples and stuff? So, but more importantly, I'm just not happy with all of this foliage up here. Hello. No, I can't remember. I painted a bunch of different stuff. I can't remember what I painted. What did I do? I think I did a little bit on Cheryl's bench, actually. Somebody put a funny comment. I really liked it. This guy pointed out that Cheryl's bench is like falling down. He's like, isn't the person going to fall off if they're on the bench? And my response was, wee! Sploosh. Because yeah, he's right. It totally doesn't make sense. The angles is wrong. But I think that's okay, because it's meant to be like a fantasy kind of world. It's not meant to be real. It's meant to be imaginary. Someone else pointed out that it was like a movie, What Dreams May Come, with Robin Williams, and I haven't seen it. I just remember the person's comment. So What Dreams May Come, something I'm going to take a look at. Just, why not? Dreams May Come. Poor Robin Williams. Damn. He killed himself, didn't he? Fuck. I remember from Mork and Mindy days. Nanu. Shazwat. You could tell he was like whacked out on coke when he was doing that show, because he was just so insanely hyper. What to do? Oh, I know what. I'm annoyed. This stupid paintbrushes in my hand. Okay, I need to blow my nose again. It's weird. I don't know how this thing works on. Excuse me. Like, I see these little hearts and stuff shooting up, but how do you know who did it? Like, someone. I'm looking at my screen. Yeah, see, there goes a little like button. Like, how do you know who did that? Oh, there's another one. Who's doing that? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Come on. One more. Just one more. Give me one more. Give me a... They should have thumbs down buttons too. Okay. What color is this? Oh, this was a bit of a blue. It was too dark. Let me go up here. It's not even the same blue. It's more like this blue. What to do? What to do? What do I do up here? A guy I just said to comment on my page. He said, okay, now that I've liked your page, look at mine. And I did. And he did this pretty cool painting. Remember the Poppy? Yeah, Remember the Poppy. And he did 4 of them, these paintings, and they were pretty neat. They're like he kind of used like a grid, like square break. Like it was a picture of like a soldier, I think, World War I with a helmet on. But the way he broke it up was really interesting. And it was also very playful. Like each little square had all kinds of little colors in it. It was very colorful, but yeah, it was neat. So I could try to point it out. And I'm pretty sure he's Canadian. And I think he made a comment about how he sold a print to someone in Kingston. And he's very happy about it when going to Kingston. So for sure, he's got to be Canadian. Kingston's a nice little town. Been there many, many times. We can see me. Oh, it has personals profile pic first. I don't know what the hell that means. So, Cheryl, you're talking about the little icons, emojis. When I look on my screen, all I can see is a little, like a little thumbs up or a heart thing go up. But it doesn't tell me who did it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Well, I appreciate it, whatever. Makes me feel like I'm not totally alone. Which is nice, I suppose. Okay, what I really should be focusing on is up here. I'm trying to make that turn down the suck of this. This whole area is just craptastic. There's a movie, very funny movie. It's definitely, I don't know if it's essentially guys' humor, but it kind of is. It's called Fubar. It's about these two guys, I think from Edmonton, and they're like, I wouldn't say they're stoners, but like that'd probably be the easiest way to describe them. They're sort of metalheads, and just have no real, they're just goofballs getting drunk all the time, and they kind of coin phrase the term giver. It's kind of like a jackass, it's like a mockumentary. That's what it was. I think it was maybe about, they had a band maybe, but, and I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. It just came in my head. Giver. Because I love Canadians. If you ever get to the East Coast, I spent some time in the East Coast, and some of the nicest, awesome people are from the East Coast. Like Newfoundland, every person I've met, every Newfie I've met, and they don't shy away from being called Newfies. In fact, there's one guy I used to do martial arts with when I was in Mount Allison University Art School. His nickname was Noof. So they don't get offended if you call someone a Noof, even though it's kind of a derogatory term. But I think what it is, they're very good about like self-deprecation. You know, they don't take things too seriously. So if you ever get a chance to travel out east, highly recommend it. Some of the nicest people. And at art school, I was in a super redneck. My friend, like my housemates, because I was in a kind of, it wasn't even a fraternity. It was just like a house of boarding. No, what was it? Like a residence, you call it. And we were in the basement. Pretty much everyone was like a redneck, and they would play like Stompin' Tom Connors, so I learned all about Stompin' Tom Connors. That woman's gonna drive me to drinking if she don't stop driving that hot rod Lincoln. And I was this like, you know, I don't know. It was kind of fun. They're a bunch of good guys. And I didn't really know that East Coast was very like rednecky. You know, it just never would have crossed my mind that that's a big part of the culture is sort of like literally kind of like shotgun in the back of the pickup truck kind of thing. Maybe it was just the guys that I was living with. And I had my roommate, Don. Don was a kind of a serious, sensitive artist type. He was a musician. He was a nice guy. I've done some painting. Well, what did I do? I did a bunch of drawings of my art school friends. And I put them on my website. And Dawn actually did like an etching. Where is this thing? Am I even doing it? All right. Okay, what this thing needs is it needs a real sense of depth back here. Even though this thing is floating. So this thing was very intentionally done to be like Chagall. You know, where out of the blue you got a floating, like a floating chicken, you know? I love that. I love that fact that it was so carefree. And I'm gonna be breaking away from maybe too rigid stuffs at some point and just go on little nuts. Having fun. You know, they're not gonna be as pretty, I think. I think that's what I might do. Here's what I should do. I'm gonna try to make some patterns. So there's a painter, this old Jewish dude named Gershwin Iskowitz. Unfortunately, he's gone now. But he used to do these paintings of these sort of spots, these large spots of color. They were so simple, and I don't know why I kind of liked it, especially being one who's very critical of abstract painting. But there's something about his stuff that I really liked. So maybe I'll try to do a little bit of Iskowitz stuff. Here's the essence of Iskowitz right here. You sort of get, I can do it. Let me zoom in. Where are you? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm zooming all the way just for this distance. So you do like a splotch of color, then you might just take your brush and go around it. And that's Iskowitz. It needs to come across. So that shape I do all the time. I do that stuff all over. Like, in fact, if you look down here, like you can see it happening all over here. Oh, definitely up here. See all these blotches? That's exactly what I was doing. I was just thinking, Iskowitz, my buddy, how you doing? And I can tell you some of the funny story. I think I mentioned this before. He once got a grant to take a helicopter and fly over the prairies, and that changed his art style. Because before, his stuff was all like really grim Holocaust paintings, like, you know, because I think he was a Holocaust survivor. But so it went from kind of like representational, like, you know, not very well drawn, painted figures of, you know, Holocaust fucking emaciated people and stuff, to this very obviously abstract shapes. But he always said that it's not abstract, it's representational. It meant it's the herds of whatever bison running across, which is total bullshit. Like, it's totally bullshit. It is completely abstract. It's not representational at all. And I was like, he's just like, he got a grant to do something, and he had to, like, you know, bullshit his way through it. I'm sure that's what it was. Can't fool me, man. But anyhow, I just still like his abstract stuff, even though it's totally not herds of animals. Come on, man. I don't know how he got away with that. I think he's gonna go with it because he's an old Jewish artist, you know, and, you know, Holocaust survivor, so he got a bit of leeway. Oh, that's kind of nice and pretty up there. I'll try to bring that around. So I kind of think about him and when I'm doing this. I guess I really discovered him when I was pretty young. I don't even know how I came across him. I think because back then we didn't have internet, right? So how did I? There's probably only two. Actually, no. I had a very good art education in my high school. I was one thing I'm very lucky about. So I could say I had a very world-class art education since grade 7. Because I went to a private school, and I was like, let's just say they encouraged, how do I say it without sounding like a dick? I can't really say it. I was like the art one. And they really encouraged me, and they let me experiment and stuff, but also they were, you know, quite advanced, man. For like grade 7, like, we were learning a lot of interesting things. All the way, we were always challenged, you know, up to into grade 13 in high school, we were definitely doing stuff that was more advanced than art school at university. Absolutely, like intellectually, very challenging to the point where, there are moments where I was like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I remember only one other time being really freaking confused in some kind of course is when I took a sociology course at McGill University, and the verbiage they used was so embarrassingly like pseudo intellectual. Like it was almost like people trying to sound smart over being clear. And I kind of felt like when I was my last 1 or 2 years of art, let's say training at my high school, they were definitely pushing us to that kind of realm where we had to, we were sort of put in our place. Like we didn't really know half the words that they were saying. I had to go and look stuff up, which reminds me of one cool story. There's a friend I had in high school, and he was one of the smartest people, like absolutely certified genius. He was so smart. They used to do these school debates where you would come up and we called it prayer. It was prayers, right? That's what they call it. It was assembly. So the whole school would be there every morning. And occasionally, they'd have sort of live debates where someone would prepare for 5 minutes. And they'd be on the government versus the opposition side. Anyhow, this guy, his name's John. I won't say his last name just because whatever. So John would go back and he'd come on the stage and then he would do his presentation. And honestly, it was like he had practiced for a month. It was incredible. And I know that I think he's a Harvard professor. He was like one of the youngest Harvard professors or something like what he's doing now. It doesn't even matter. I remember talking to him in high school. And what I enjoyed talking about is he was so smart. He would use words perfectly in that he would use the words as they were actually meant to be, like words that you would have to like sort of think about. And I remember there are a few times where I would actually go, wait a second, and I would go back like, at home and go through an encyclopedia to learn about what word he used, like pedantic. I'm just going to pull that out of the hair. He would use pedantic in a casual conversation for someone in grade 10, and I'd be sort of sitting there going, okay, I thought I was kind of smart. This is a whole new level. And I've only met a few people like that in my life. And being in the video game industry, I've definitely met programmer geniuses. One of my best friends is for sure a genius programmer. So I met a bunch of guys who were like absolutely genius when it comes to that. But I haven't met anyone as of yet. Actually, well, I know a guy, but he's a bit of an arrogant jerk off, so it takes him down a notch. Because my friend John was not an arrogant guy. He had a British kind of accent, and he would just talk to you, and he wouldn't be like snooty about it, because he was a nice guy. He was one guy I wish I sort of spent more time with, because in high school I was an anti-snob. I actually avoided the popular groups, even though I think pretty much I would have been accepted into them because I was the art genius. I was the art god, sort of. I was, accepted into the ranks, suppose. But I just didn't like the fact that they were so from the richest and most powerful families, at least in Canada, and then most of my friends were like, dirt broke, broken homes and stuff. So I always felt some kind of weird. It wasn't exactly guilt. I had a choice. I had a choice of the worlds to live in, and I chose the world of my friends that I grew up with since I was like childhood friends, who were, a lot of them were just middle class, but a bunch were absolutely from. And one friend was one of the first gangs in Toronto, the Untouchables. There are guys like that. And there were a couple guys that they're dead now. I remember one guy, man, I won't say his name, but I remember the very last time I saw him, he was definitely into trouble. He was like a good friend since I was a kid because he's in the neighborhood. We used to play all the time together. And then the last time I saw him, we were in what's that? It was in Churchill Park, and it was night out, and I bumped into him walking across, and so we were just chatting it up. I hadn't seen him for a while because he was sent off to some sort of like, not quite jail, but kind of like a detention center or something. We were probably about 17 or 18. Anyhow, next thing I know, an undercover car. Well, we didn't know it was an undercover car. A car just started pulled off of the road and started driving straight off, like through a park, like through a park where they have those kids, play pools and stuff, and get right up to him, boom, and we both started running because we didn't know what the hell it was. And it turns out it was undercover cops, and they busted him. And that was the last time I saw him because he got killed in a motorcycle accident. Like, we used to do very ridiculous shit together. Like, we used to go up to his parents' farm, and we used to do kind of like cave diving, spelunking, but just two jackass kids with no equipment going down these like crazy cracks and stuff. And the other thing we did was very cool. They had an old barn, and they used to have a rope, and we used to swing across. Like, I'm not kidding. This was like Tarzan shit. And we would like fly across and just let go and land in like hay, like 20. We could have died so easily doing some of this stuff. But yeah, so damn. Yeah, he was definitely trouble. It was kind of weird because his family's kind of weird. They're very, very German. And what I mean by that is they would speak German at home, and what was the German thing? Oh yeah, they had this sort of like you weren't allowed to drink any liquids at dinner. And like when you went over there, it was a weird kind of formality. Like it wasn't like anything I was kind of used to. Yeah, like you weren't allowed to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like they had very strict rules. So I think what happened is he rebelled against them. I remember the mom being super nice, but the dad being, holy fuck, he was strict. Like, we were all terrified of the dad. Probably turns out he probably was like a nice guy, but we were just idiot kids, probably deserving a bit of a chewing out. Okay, so what I've been doing here is I've been going in and sort of doing nicer shapes all along here, especially up here. Especially up here. This is kind of nicer work over here. I got to do more extreme stuff. I need to bring down the bench thing, so maybe I'll do the bench like comes down and it kind of like goes like this, and then there's stuff here, and then kind of like that, and there's lines for the things and what have you. So yeah, here, let me just try to get some reflections. More reflections coming down. Oops. What else to talk about? I don't know. Yeah, the problem is all of this. I've got to rebuild all of this stuff down into here. So this could take me a while. So I'm trying to like... Yeah. Really? Ouch. I met Mr. T once. I met the Village People. I met Miss Little Kim. I met Miss Ashley McIsaac. I'm just thinking about people I've met. I met, who else I met? I met, what's his face? Short dude. Sylvester Stallone. I don't know why I'm saying this. Little Kim. She was funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I was on a it was called the Fashion Committee? No, Entertainment Committee for Fashion Cares. Fashion Cares was a charity event for AIDS, support of AIDS. This was right around the year 2000. And we were volunteers, and it was kind of cool to do it. I'll be honest, like my girlfriend at the time was the chair of the committee, so she asked me to be on it. But what we do is we would be in charge of all the entertainment for the event, which is kind of fun. So we would contact the managers, we'd be assigned different artists, and we'd be like the point of contact to, arrange everything, arrange contracts, arrange the transportation, and when they would arrive, I would go up and I'd meet them. And there were about maybe 7 or 8 of us, and we would meet different of the celebrities. Mostly of them were musicians, but there were a couple fashiony people. The only fashion person I ever knew was RuPaul. That guy, whatever. So, but I was got some musicians and stuff. And it was cool because we were the only people in the whole event, thousands of people that had these special passes that we could walk anywhere because we had to. And so I was in the green room, which is a little room that you wait, that the people who go on stage wait in before they go on stage, right? And I was in there, and Little Kim was there. She was one of the people. She's this rapper who's kind of a little hardcore, whatever. And she's pretty petite. And she saw me helping out some people and probably thought I was some sort of paid whatever. At the time I was an executive running this 50, 60 person studio, and I was doing it totally, just because it was fun. It was nice, good thing to do. And she goes, "You come here." And I'm like, "Me? All right, what's up?" And she says, "I want Smarties, only red Smarties." It was something ridiculous like that. And I looked at her and I said, "Get the fuck out of here." And then she started laughing, and she put her hand on my shoulder, and we sort of hugged and laughed. I think because I was like, "I'm not gonna get you red Smarties. You're fucking ridiculous." I think she was, I don't know, if she was kind of being serious, she really wanted it, but I don't think she expected me to reply like that. Because I couldn't care less who they are. You know what I mean? It was just kind of amusing. So she actually turned out to be kind of cool. At first, I think she's very diva-like. That was it. That's the word. She was very much a diva and expecting, all this kind of treatment. But then when someone sort of came along and said, forget that, she was pretty cool after. Oh, and here's another funny story. I forget his name. He's something McIsaac. He played a violin. He's from the East Coast. And he's a very weird dude. I think he was a pedophile too or something. But I didn't know at that time. Anyhow, he was totally wasted. I don't know what he was on. And he was being called to go on the stage. And he's like, "Where's my violin? My violin." And people were kind of freaking out because he's supposed to go on and do his violin thing. And I was like, "Dude." And I reached down between his legs and put his violin on his lap. I said, "Here you go. See ya." He went off on stage and did his thing. That was kind of funny. And one of the acts that I was responsible for was kind of neat. And I never really, even though I lived in Japan, I didn't really know about these kind of traditional, they were Kyoto. Were they Kyoto? Kyoto, what was it called? They had these Kyoto harps things, these big kind of long guitar things. I don't know what you would call them, but it was really cool. So I got to meet these they would just play this really cool, beautiful music, and they went on, and so they were pretty easy to deal with. Who else did I deal with? I had because I did it for 2 years, so I probably had about 4 or 5 different people to. I want to say the Tragically Hip, but I don't think it was them. No, I would have remembered. I'm pretty sure the Hip were there. Oh yeah, that's where I think I'm talking about this because that's where I remember the Village People. The Village People were there, and they're all in the room, and they gave me an autographed picture of them. It was pretty funny. Those guys were pretty hilarious, and they were actually surprisingly. What was I surprised about them? That they were kind of old. That they were like. I remember thinking that the guys had like wrinkly legs or something. Like I can't remember if it was like the Indian guy or the construction worker. There was something about him being kind of old, but they were cool. They were having fun. It kind of reminded me of like the Harlem Globetrotters. That's what the Village People were like. They're out there doing their thing and just having fun. For all I know, there could have been a whole bunch of famous fashion people, but I really wouldn't have had a clue. God, I can't believe I can't remember who else. Who else was there? Who else was I in charge of? Kyoto guys. No. Was I in charge of Little Kim? God, I can't remember. This was like 2000 and 2001. I also remember being really busy at work too and just sort of like thinking, how am I going to pull this off? But it was pretty cool. It was fun to walk around and see all the models getting all prepared and stuff. Like going behind the scenes and seeing all the work that was being done. There was like lots of like makeup and whatever the fuck they did, you know, whatever kind of getting changed into putting on all kinds of like interesting costumes, and it's kind of like Zoolander. That's what it was like. It was like Zoolander. In that was the fashion stuff. Like it was all completely out of my realm of understanding. I guess that's why I liked it, because it was something totally different. Never really cared about fashion. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to switch to a little bit bigger brush. This one here. Because I think the water is looking a little dull right down here. So I'm going to take this bigger brush. I'm going to go to one of these nice blues. Oh, this might be actually too. This brush is too hard. Oh, no, it's coming alive. Okay. And I just want to give it a bit of love with this. Just this blue that's just so nice. I'll also paint the bottom of the painting too. Yeah. How about a half an hour? How about a half an hour? Sure. Yeah, because that is a nice blue, isn't it? Move it back a bit. If I had a bit of white. Yeah, see, this brush is kind of a... Well, maybe I'll just try a different style. Let me just try a bit of a... I call it my Chagall brush strokes. They're kind of like... I can't do it very well with this because it's too tight. I can probably do it with this big one. Yeah. So Chagall brush strokes are much more soft. I'll just allow them to come over here a bit. Let's get some water. That's a nice blue. that blue with this white coming over here. Oops. Hey, what the hell? Well, I'll get some darker blue. There you go. Okay. I think I need to put more dark under these. Yeah, let me put some dark under these things. I wonder if I should paint these water lilies a bit more. Should I keep them abstracted? I mean, that's kind of like the fun of it, is I'm not really... Oh, I saw this guy's painting. I really liked it. What's his name? Gosh, something Lister. I don't know who he is. I gotta find out more about him, but he redid Van Gogh's... which painting was it? He redid one of Van Gogh, or he did a couple of, the sunflowers. And he kind of like exploded them. And it was really nicely done. And it made me think, oh, I wish I did that. It was such a great idea. You know, it was like, and the painting style was actually beautiful. Like it wasn't like he was just ripping them off. He was actually taking it and making something new out of it. So you would recognize you absolutely would recognize the shape of the sunflowers, and you would know it was Van Gogh's sunflowers. But he made it his own, and it was really beautiful. I gotta find it. Andrew Lister, does that sound right? It's one of the few people I follow on Instagram. I think that's where it's from. I gotta find out. So anyway, that's what I'm kind of thinking of when I'm doing this. I'm thinking, you know, this is completely, hugely like influenced by Monet. I mean, I'm even calling it Monet's Eden. So it's not like I'm trying to hide anything. Wow, I have so much more work to do in this before this becomes what it's meant to be. Definitely still needs work. But all these little marks, they're important. They're helping to define it. Oops. How if I just stick some paint there? Still got a while to go. Just life. Yeah, I gotta bring all this down. This whole thing needs to be colored in before it's gonna be even remotely a reflection. Like, what is that? That's gone. Yeah, I need a lot more work. It's gonna take some time. But that's what I do have is time. Okay. I think this blue might be coming in between here. Okay, yeah, it's coming together a bit more. Still needs quite a lot of love and attention. Needs a lot more love and attention. I'm being lazy here by just darkening up with a straight up purple and blue going across, and it looks terrible, but I will fix that. I will fix that. Also, the bench is looking pretty goddamn awful too. Okay, so over here, maybe I'll try doing a bit of white. It's kind of like it's coming down. You guys can see this. break it up. And this whole thing needs love and attention. This whole thing down here. It's like maybe I need to do like bull rushes or something. I did more like, let's just do this. Okay, so if I'm gonna be smart about this, I gotta that. Oh, the big chunk of blue. How am I gonna save you? Okay, big chunk of blue. Just put you back there. I'll put this on top. I'm gonna be stopping soon. Just after I get some pink happening here. So like we have these like, oops. Whew. I just finally am getting a bit of a buzz, but I gotta stop soon. And I kind of get these, like, once in a while I get these really nice kind of like endorphin kind of like feelings coming in. Mostly has to do with like I'm starting to like sweat a little bit, and this usually happens around an hour. 59 minutes 17 seconds. Isn't that weird? Right on time, right on cue. Is when I feel like it's time to take a break. Okay, so this definitely needs a lot more work. The nice thing is I got this big, perfect, beautiful palette ready to go next time, which is, yeah, just, I don't know why. I like it. Look at my bald spot. I look like one of those monks who have those little patches. All right, so let's do a quick review of what we did today. Just snap the camera. Okay, so what did we do? We went in along the bottom and very quickly added some more deeper blues here. You can really notice it like along here. I started breaking up the side. So there's lines here and here and here, and added like lightness to it. Up here I started doing some stuff that I really enjoy doing, which are these shapes, these Kandinsky / Iskowitz kind of shapes. You can see them like right there. Isn't that kind of nice? Those little circles and shapes and colors. I started a hard line, so for the shoreline. Oops, sorry. So if you can see here, I added a dark line that goes right across all over here. And then I started attempting to do some reflections coming down, but it's still very rough. I added a bit of darkness below these guys too, below the water lilies. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what's next? Let's see. Definitely want to go back and add more, accentuate these kind of cool shapes. The bench is still kind of crappy. Definitely the reflections aren't done. So I've got to go in and really work on those more. I'm going to go and figure out what the symbols are in the shadows according to the actual allegorical description. And the sky still needs a bit of work. Like I kind of like it rough, but one thing I want to do is I might want to add like a hard definition line, so it's almost like mountains or a forest, and I think that would be kind of cool. And maybe also add a dark floating body right around here. Maybe we'll see. I really want to go back and work on some other paintings, like with Cheryl's bench. I actually think I might go back and add like a dark body under there. I think it might be kind of cool and mysterious. I definitely want to work on, what's it called? The one with Terry Crews coming out of the water. I really want to go work on the whole background, because I'm in a, what I didn't do with any of those paintings was reflections coming down. And that idea started with the woman in the Burke in the canoe. And I noticed what was wrong was the reflections weren't right. So that kind of triggered this kick on me to do reflections more and to make them, so I kind of want to do that. Yeah, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this little painting session. And I'm going to try to paint some more tomorrow if I have time, but we'll see. So, ciao.